morning, friends. Happy Friday. Let's make sure there it is. Can you believe this is the 25th of February already? Didn't we just put the Christmas tree away? So, well, speaking of which, since it is the 25th, and in January, I forgot that on the 25th, I like to make Christmas cards because I try to get a little bit of a head start for December so that on, December 1st, I don't think to myself, oh my goodness, it's Christmas time and I don't have any cards made, because at least if I start on the 25th and do one or two, I have a few to get started and I don't have to feel so pressured. So, because this is Fun Friday, I don't necessarily use all Stampin' Up products. I use what I have, and I have fun with different things. And today, I was playing with some of my alcohol ink, which thankfully I was able to wash off because this bottle decided to leak. And I'm using the 3D Texture Fades Poinsettia Embossing Folder by Tim Holtz. Now, Stampin' Up has 3D embossing folders as well, and I guess the difference between 3D and a regular embossing folder, let me grab one of mine, is the depth of the impression that it creates. So, for example, this is, it is a 3D. I guess I have to get an older one because most of them are 3Ds. Let's see if I can get one. About 3D. 3D. Oh, if I didn't, here we go. This one was from the Peacocks suite that we had, and this is not a 3D embossing folder. So, the impressions in this folder are very slight, and they are wonderful for making, especially for making backgrounds or making your stamped image. You look at your card that you've stamped and you've colored in and stuff, and you think, oh, it just needs a little something extra. Sometimes putting it through an embossing folder just does the trick. It gives it a little bit of texture, but it doesn't overtake the whole card. The 3D embossing folders, on the other hand, have a very, very deep impression. And so they do stand out on a card much more. And I have used the 3D embossing folder with a stamped image. And if it's or Tasteful Textures, I think it's called, Tasteful Textile. Can't remember now. It's not a huge design in that, so it works okay over a stamped image. Like this one, the Dainty Diamonds, that'll work nice with a stamped image as well. But something like this, Poinsettia, which is a gorgeous image, you really don't want to put it over a stamped image because, first of all, it's going to take away from the embossed paper, and it's also going to hide a lot of your image because it just is going to demand the attention. So when they are the 3D folders, think of it as using it, it's going to be more of a focal point. So if that's not what you're looking for on the card you're making, look for just the regular embossing folder. So while I was playing, listen to me. Such grammar. This was just a piece of oil cardstock, and I have lots of little scrappies over here, not scrappies, but cut pieces that we're going to try to do. And this one is debossed, where the impression is into the foil and the embossed portion is on the back side. Sorry, this is alcohol ink. And originally I took StazOn Black Ink and just smeared it over the top. And then I was thinking, oh, that's not too bad, but I'd like some red in the flowers. So I got out my alcohol ink, and when I went to drop some on here, or no, actually I went to drop it on a blending brush. I put my blending solution on here, added a little bit of the Poppy Field alcohol ink, and the ink dripped all over my card, as well as my hand. I kind of looked like I tried to sever my thumb this morning. So I took my pad with the blending solution and went over to try to clean the Poppy ink off, and it took the StazOn as well. So I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this one. This is just foil cardstock that now has a red background. I don't know yet. We'll see. This one was more what I had tried to do on the original card. This is just foil cardstock or foil paper, and I used my StazOn and wiped over my foil paper. And then, because I did learn from my lesson, I didn't use the alcohol ink liquid. I just got my alcohol markers and added a little bit of Poppy alcohol ink to the petals and some olive green. This is Poppy Parade, and I used Old Olive on the leaves. And what yellow did I use? Oh, Daffodil Delight. You can't see it very well, but I did use some Daffodil Delight in the flower centers. Now that came out more of the card that I was trying to create in the first place. So we might just go with that and enhance it a little bit and make a card. I thought it looked kind of pretty with maybe a black mat, so I have to trim that down and then put it on a Poppy card base. And this might be where we head today. I also tried Tim Holtz. Oh, I lost my ink. There it is. Kitsch Flamingo. I was sort of looking for more of a vintagey type of a card, and so this one, on the raised portion of the embossing folder, I rubbed my ink pad over top of it and embossed it, and this is how it came out. The pink is now indented into the paper. Not bad. Not sure where I would want to go with this one. Definitely needs something more in the background, but I don't know if I just want to do some ink blending. So we'll play with that one. This one was, I used the Kitsch Flamingo on the indented side, or on the flat side, and then embossed my paper. What I didn't like, and I don't know how other demonstrators get around this so much, because every time I try to use that technique, I leave streaky marks on my paper, and I don't like that. So I tried it again and used just, I put my ink on the embossing folder, and then I used a dauber and dabbed into the ink and went around, kept adding a little bit more ink, but tried to make sure I wasn't going to have any lines. And then I spritzed it with a little bit of water before I put this white cardstock through the embossing folder. That one came out much better. I'm a lot happier with this one. This one has potential. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with that yet, but I do like that one. So let's get started with one of these foil cards, because this will have to be cut down and then fit on our black mat and stuff. So I'll show you how I got to this point anyway. So I started with a piece of copper foil paper. Yes, this is, I think it's copper. It's not gold and it's not silver. And, oh, I guess measurements are good too, huh? I think, I hate to even guess because I don't know what I did. When I start doing so many different things at one time, I'm never quite sure what I did. So this is 4 by 5 1/4. Yep, 4 by 5 1/4. And then what am I doing first? We're embossing it first. Okay, so I did notice that on the Tim Holtz folder, the image of the top side is has a nice black outline. So if I want to emboss with my image sticking out, this is the top of my folder, which is what I want to do. I'm just going to lay my foil paper inside. I'm trying to make sure I have the whole image in there. It's probably not going to fit because I already had cut these ones down. Like the other one, I think I have to cut down yet for my mat. I'm sure I do. But these were already cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So my bottom is going to be a little bit off the edge. Am I straight? Am I crooked? I'm a little crooked. Then I was watching Stamps and Lingers, Mary Dethridge. I'm so far behind in any of my YouTube channels that I typically watch. I don't know why I'm so far behind. I haven't been watching them a lot, I guess. I've been busy. I've been doing instead of watching. That's a good thing, right? And she did this other card today, which I just love. She saw it on somebody else's YouTube channel and did her impression of it, and I really liked it, so I think I'm going to try that for Monday. So with the 3D embossing folders, they're extra super duper thick. You typically only need your base plate in your emboss machine, and one cutting plate. If you're putting through more and it's feeling really resistant, don't try to squish it through there. Just use your one plate. It doesn't feel too tight. You're going to be really amazed at the gorgeous impression that it makes. And I'm not going to try to keep comparing this is X1 with Stampin' Ups because they both do an excellent job. And then here is our embossed panel. So how is everyone? I didn't even ask. I just jumped right in today and told you where we were going with Christmas cards, huh? Yep. And then we're going to take StazOn ink. I'm going to do this and then we can chat for a second because StazOn needs just a second or two to dry. And I'm just going to swipe this across the top of my embossed panel. And it leaves some nice little black marks on the raised edges of the poinsettias and leaves. Don't forget the leaves. Yep, they're there too. A little bit of streaking on the base, but not a lot because it is not raised up. Let me see. Let's try to get a little more up there. And I don't know if it's just me. I love the smell of StazOn. I think it smells like almonds. Yep. Smells, let's just say it smells better than blending solution. All right, we'll give that a second to dry because it is on foil paper. Yeah, we're all doing good here. We're having a bit of an ice storm today. I think, I don't know if it's still freezing rain out there right now or if it's finally letting up. I mean, the trees are pretty because they look like they have diamonds all over them. But it's also dangerous because when the wind blows, I'm afraid they're going to break. Pretty good. Okay. So that's one thing to keep in mind too, if you do have StazOn. And I don't know if it would have happened if I'd used Memento. Should probably try that. Alcohol blending solution will take that off. Or smear it, or whatever. Okay. And then to add my color to my card, I use Stampin Blends because I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and so I have blends. If you're using Copic markers, I don't really know what colors compare to these, but I'm sure that you're used to your colors and you'll know what to do. I'm using my Dark Poppy Parade. I opted to go with the dark color since I am on a dark foil paper. And then I just went right over trying to watch for where there's a leaf hidden in these little images. Because I wanted my leaves to be green, not necessarily red. And I'm trying to not stick my wrist over here in, I used grit paste and crackle. Oh, this is crackle paste, I think. Did I use grit or crackle on that one? Crackle, I think. And I set it aside to dry so I could see what that was going to do. I think that was a leaf underneath there. Oh, speaking of Stampin' Up, quick reminder, because this is the 25th, celebration is ending next 26, 27, 20, Monday. I can count. Oh, see, I did color in the, yep, that's a leaf. I know I could take it off, but I also think I can color over it, because I think I did that on the other one too. Celebration ends on the 28th, so if there was something that you wanted to earn for free out of the flyer, get your orders in there. Don't forget to use the shopping code. Oh, you know what? I gotta get a new one. This is the 25th, and I think they usually only last 30 days. Where did I put my February? I guess I should have put that out there too, just in case you're new to my channel and you don't know who I am. You can always contact me at bohostamper.com. Yep. There it is, February. It should still be you should still be able to use this when you're shopping. And that'll let me know that you have placed an order, because I should have done my leaves first, because sitting back this far and I turn my light away so that it's not glaring off of here, I can't see. Yes, if you order $50 or more through my online store, I'm going to send you some adhesive hexagons. And if you order $100 or more, you're going to get the hexagon adhesive backed hexagon little embellishments, as well as a take your pick tool. Yeah, so make sure you use that shopping code so I can see that you did. I want to get my order in here and order as many of the take your pick tools as I'm going to need. Is that a leaf too? No. Okay. Actually, I guess it could have been. I don't know. These are so hard to tell. And I did have the cover for the embossing folder sitting right beside me, but it really doesn't show if it's a petal or a leaf. It's a guessing game. They don't have to be perfect. You're just covering the raised edge of the embossed image, just to get some color on here. See, that one was a leaf. Yep. That's a leaf. That's a leaf. Leaf, leaf. There's a poinsettia hiding down here, and I just went right off my raised edge there, like a kindergartner trying to color. A little bit of petal down there. Let's try and see if oh good, it did work. I thought I did it on the first one too. Kind of wipes the red off and there we go. Replace it with some green. And this one. And then I can go down my little stems. And just that little bit of green, and I know it really doesn't show up very well on the camera. But the little bit of old olive makes a difference. I guess, yeah. Petal on that one in the back that I didn't get. And then I suppose it's not a bad idea just to wipe your alcohol markers off, because we did just go over black ink. And just to be sure we don't ruin our mark. See, that has black in it, so yeah. Best to wipe them off a little bit. And then we'll just use a little bit of yellow. Go over the centers. Like I said, it doesn't really show up very well, but if you do turn the card in the light, you can kind of see them. So yay. See, what is my crackle paste doing? I don't know how long it's supposed to take to dry. Put a little bit thick on the foil paper and thin on the foil paper. And then a little bit thick on just plain paper and thinned it out a little bit. This was the icicle crackle paste. I just didn't know if I wanted to try to put a little bit on my cards. Maybe not on the foil, maybe on the pink one I might try. Okay, and so that's how I did my alcohol coloring on the foil background. This one has a lot more black on it, but like I said, I have to trim that one down. Okay, so this one is already trimmed down, 4 by 5 1/4. Now this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 to give it a nice little frame on the background. And we are going to use liquid glue because we've embossed it, and we need the adhesive to get down into the nooks and crannies. Make sure that this sticks to our card mat. And B, it's foil paper. So it's a little bit heavier. Cool. Any big plans for the weekend? I think I finally did quit doing whatever it was doing out there. And then I have a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. Oh, just threw my phone. And this, oh, I cut this the same size as my card base. What a goose. So in that case, I should probably just use a black card base, and then we'll do one a little smaller. Yeah, I know hubby wanted to take a ride Sunday if we're not in the midst of another, come on, paper, another winter storm, because that seems to be what happens on the weekend. And I also have to grab my greetings, which I set my big Tim Holtz case aside so that I had room to walk. Not sure what greeting I want to put on here. I think I want it to be a little vintagey looking. The bad thing about trying to do these cards on the 25th of each month is I had just packed all my Christmas stuff away. And so, you know, trying to dig it all back out. Merry Christmas. Which is kind of weird because I'm actually trying to bring out like my couple of my baskets and a few of my Easter things, not too much yet, but I'm putting away all my winter things around the house and trying to bring more spring into the house a little bit because I'm getting tired of the snow and ice. Yeah, I think this will just be better. I'm plain black since I made my mat the same size. I was thinking I wanted it, I'll do the next one smaller so that I can put it on a poppy background, poppy card base. We'll do that one. I really wasn't quite sure what I was going to do for my greeting, but I was so wrapped up in playing around with the alcohol ink and markers that I didn't get that far. Oh look, I still have these left over from, is that the same color of foil? These were left over from a project, some of the kits that I had ready for it. Oh, that might be handy. Well, maybe for an upcoming Christmas card. I also had this one. This one is embossed with that little diamond embossing folder that I just showed you guys. Now I'm going to have to cut a piece of black for that. That's okay. I have lots of scrap stuff. can she find the copper? Oop, that's black. Embossing powder. Yes, she can. Alrighty, that's encouraging. Oh, I need my heat gun. I had moved it the other day because I kept knocking it off my shelf. Alright, put you there. Get a block. Let's move that out of the way. Use a little bit of anti-static powder on here. Some Versamark ink, which is just a clear sticky ink. Now, I hope Joy has enough ink on there. It looks a little light. Just tap that back onto here so I can put it back into the pot. That'll be close. It's going to be kind of thin, but oh, that might be all right. And excuse the noise while I get my heat gun warmed up here, and we will melt this embossing powder. Oh, it's still fun to watch those melt, and isn't that fun? I love embossing, especially when it works. When it doesn't work, then it's a pain. And sometimes, I don't know, you know, there's been some discussion about do embossing powders get old? I have a bottle of silver embossing powder that I have set aside because every time I use it, it just doesn't stick to my Versamark very well. When I go to heat it, it kind of blows right off. And I've tried other silver that works better. So possibly, it can possibly be because the powder's old. Sorry, I'm just stepping aside here to grab a die so we can cut out our greeting. Can I go one smaller? I can. Yay. This is already going to cover up quite a bit of my poinsettia. This is why I was a little hesitant on which one I wanted to pick, because I know it's going to cover up a lot of our our embossed image there, which is so pretty. Oh, I need my other plates back if I'm going to die cut here. It'd be great if I could remember where I put them this morning. I took them off. I really don't remember. Because I was trying to be prepared. Oh my goodness. I don't remember where I laid them. Well, let's use, I think this will fit through the mini. Thank goodness. Where did I put those other plates? Oh my goodness. How can I lose things like that? I'm also trying to think if I have and when you are going to cut out your embossed greeting, make sure that your embossing has cooled, because when you run it through your cut and emboss machine, you're going to flatten it back out if it's still a little bit warm. So, yeah, I was trying to think, would that be pretty with maybe a little copper ribbon, or is that going to be too much? Is there ever too much? I don't know. Well, you just saved our bacon there, little baby boss. Oh, that's too big. Yeah, I don't like that. That's way too big. That covers up the whole thing. Why? I don't want to do that. What other greetings? We'll save this one and put it on another card. I need something little. I like the vintage fonts on those, but I don't want to cover up my whole picture. So you know what we could use? We have, I'm sorry, I told you I'd put everything away, and now I gotta dig out, and we have to dig out Christmas stuff. We could just use one of these skinny sentiments from the Christmas Noel sticker book, because they're nice and thin. I was thinking I had the black and white ones, but this might actually work better. May your days be merry and bright. Well, there goes that alcohol ink again. It's determined to make its presence known. Oh, come on. Make a decision. I can't. How about just Merry Christmas? Here. Sorry guys, you're just too big for what I need today. So, let's see, I'm just going to put this on my black cardstock, and we're going to trim around that and have a little border. Sure we are. Watch, this will work. Get some of this extra off of here. I know we should be looking at making bunnies and chicks, and that's coming. Yeah. Those cards are a-coming. And then I have some little black dimensionals. Oh my goodness, I can't even pick up the papers. Oh, and I hit you in the head. Oh, maybe we ought to just call the weekend now, huh? That's enough of that. She's violent and still waiting for that crackle paste to dry over there on the foil because I want to see what it's going to do. I don't think it's dry. Oh, look at that. I had some adhesive on my finger from the dimensional and it marked on my foil. Isn't that weird? Baby wipe to the rescue. Oh, maybe it's from the base. I see. Not from the baby wipe, or from the dimensional. So there we have our very first Christmas card of 2022. How about that? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to trim this one down because I really do want to put one on a poppy card base. So my card base, of course, is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'll do a black mat. I find my trimmer again. 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And that's just going to give me 1/8 of an inch poppy border around the black. And I need to trim this down then to 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to have to trim a little off of each side to keep my image central. And really, I'm just taking 1/8 of an inch off of my top and each bottom and each side. 4 by 5 1/4. Get rid of those little thingies. It's so quiet when I'm trying to center these, huh? And that's why. Because if I jiggle it just the tiniest bit, and I did it again. Why are you sliding? Stop that. Oh my goodness. Do that. Oh, I know it doesn't need a lot of glue, but I don't really want it to fall apart because that would be sad. You know who I am now, right? Oh, I got that all wet. I'm going to have to make a new... little DianaBohoStamper.com, so you don't forget who I am. Here, I'll set this one back out so you can look at that while I find another greeting for the front of this one. That light really does glare off of that, doesn't it? Sorry, oil paper. What can I say? Christmas wishes. Nice and simple. Yay. This one has a straighter edge, since the other one has been through the Emboss Machine several times. Yeah, so Monday I think I'm going to try, I don't know what stamp set I'm going to use yet, is the whole thing. And I got to make sure I have, because I think I did when I was watching her video, Mary's video. I think I have our white ink. And she used the host set from Celebration, which is just gorgeous. And I did use that one once before, Combing Camellia. It really is one of the prettiest flower images I think that we've had in a stamp in a while. I mean, I love all the wildflower images and stuff, but this one is just elegant. So I think I'm going to give it a go. I kind of like it where I put it. The first one. Oh, that's straight. Oh, I don't. Pick up a little bit. There we go. So we could add, I don't know if we need to because of all the shiny is the thing. I just am not sure. We can add little blingies to it. And I even have those copper, I can find them now. I had some of those little copper ones, foil dots or whatever, if I can find them. It'll be easier to tell you what they are, because they were also left from one of the workshops that we had. Oh, we have these brush metallics. Those would be good. Let's just not even look any further. That's perfecto. Perfecto. And this is the Take Your Pick tool. This is my my gift for the $100 purchases on my online store this month. So that's a handy dandy little tool. It has a little pointy tip on it. You can turn it around and it has the spatula tip on it. It has the little putty end, which is replaceable when your putty runs out and you need to refill it. And there's also, you can get an additional piece that goes in the end that has the wire brush on there to take out all of your little embossing bits. Alright, you guys, so we're off to a start with Christmas cards. I'm going to find something nice that I want to put on the inside of these cards. I don't know what message I'm going to stamp in there yet. And then, let's see, did these dry? Oh, it did. So it's not really crackly on the foil. I don't see that it did much of anything. I might try it on some of the pink. I'm going to try to figure out what I can do with these pink cards. I have a thought. Keep my peace and joy at Christmas because that one actually embossed really nice, and now I didn't use them. Oh, and I got to figure out what to do with that red one. What am I going to do with that? I don't know. What happens if I... Does it do anything more? Not really, it just smeared it around. If I use... And I don't know that a blender pen is going to do anything because of this being alcohol ink. No. Not really. I don't know. It won't go to waste. If all else fails, we'll use the alcohol blending solution and wipe all that red off. Which might be where I head. And then try to go back and work on my original plan, since this is the debossed one where the image is pressed into the foil. Maybe if I wipe this off and I go over with the StazOn and oh, this is always so messy. Let's get some of this out of the way so I don't get ink or anything on them. And then use my alcohol pen like we did on the embossed images that we just did. Actually, that's kind of pretty because the red is staying in the flower now. Maybe this is going to be one of those happy accident things because I've been messing around with this so much this morning. Actually, I started this one yesterday. It did stay in the flower a little bit better than it had been. I wonder why. I mean, I've only been trying to do it for 2 days. So what made it decide to stick now? StazOn, where are you? Try. Stayed red inside. That's what I wanted in the first place. Why didn't you work when I did it? And now what I should do, after this is dry, I don't know. You guys remember that old technique? Oh, it's so many years ago. After this dries, then if you swipe Versamark over it and sprinkle it with clear embossing powder, I'm trying to remember, clear embossing powder and heat it, it makes it look icy. Give it a go. I'm going to put the poppy alcohol ink away before I end up really spilling on something. I told you my poor hand this morning looked like I had tried to cut my thumb off. I don't know. Maybe this will work. I should probably get rid of that alcohol pad because it's all full of that red. And this, my friends, is why I had put, I added a little disclaimer to my descriptions in my drop-down box here that the reason that I say this is not intended for children, because YouTube asks you that when you're writing your description and stuff for your video. Is this intended for children? And I always click no. It's not ever because there's anything bad in here, but you know, my children are grown, but if I had small children still or grandchildren, I don't know, I'd want them playing with some of the stuff because, first of all, it stinks. You know, that blending solution is pretty potent. And secondly, I mean, we're playing with razor blades, you know, our cutting machine. And Lord only knows what else we're going to throw on there, you know. So I said this is almost like Bill Nye the Science Guy meets Tim Holtz, because who knows what's going to happen. Okay, so this is dry. And maybe I shouldn't have that on there yet. Then they put Versamark all over the panel. Oh, this has been so long ago. And when I tried it once before, I hated how it came out, and I ended up, and this is a rare thing, I threw them away. It was awful. And I don't usually throw my cards away when I mess them up. I can make them work somehow, but those were just a mess. Pretty sure it was clear, not white. I wanted. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. I just kind of remember something, maybe black ice technique, or certainly wouldn't want to mass make this one though, because that just, well, I suppose had it worked the first time it would be different. Like I said, I don't know what finally decided to make that ink stick inside the poinsettia image. Maybe it just needed to sit for a couple hours or something. Alright, let's heat this up and see what happens. And our time is up. Oh, maybe I should just leave it a cliffhanger, huh? I wouldn't do that. I think I'll use tweezers on this so I don't smear the embossing powder and I don't burn my hand. can't pick it up. Come on. Ooh, I bubbled it. I did make it bubble. But kind of cool. Is that still pottery? No. Okay. I was afraid it didn't all melt. Not bad. I don't know why that couple pieces right there bubbled, but I feel like I've played with it so much that I've lost the image of the poinsettia. You know what I mean? Now I gotta remember, because I'm doing this backwards this way. This was the deboss side. I put this back through here. I wonder if I'll screw it up. Oh, you know what? I don't know that this one can get any more screwed up. Who knows, this might be the second time I throw a card away. Or it might come out fantabulous. Don't know. It's a surprise. It's going to be a surprise. Actually, that's not bad. That's just not bad. I kind of like it. It's not as shiny as our other ones. It's more muted. It does look almost like it has a layer of ice on it. Weird. Well, there you go. Trim it down. Another red base here. And I think I'll add that on there and call it a day. Thanks everybody for playing around with our Christmas card in February. And if you have some of these 3D embossing folders, give them a try. Play around with them, you know. And again, if you have all these things laying here, you know, you have all these little tools, play with them and see what you can come up with. You might be surprised and you might really love it. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Come back Monday and check out that technique that I'm going to show you that I learned from Mary today. Bye.